What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. MTG here with another episode. If you're new to the channel, hi there. So I've got the Samsung Galaxy A55, a device that's not available in the US, but I kind of wish it was, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But let's start things off with design and pretty much all the other categories, because I've been using this for the past 3+ months. And it's a Samsung device, so I've come accustomed to using devices like this, and this design has kind of grown on me. I mean, it's similar to the Galaxy S24. The S24 Ultra shares the same DNA. So glass front and back, and it has aluminum frame now, the A55, which is a huge upgrade from the plastic frame on its predecessor, A54, A53, and whatnot. But it's not sold in the US, so you're not going to be able to get this premium A50 series here. But nonetheless, I went ahead and picked it up and been using it to share my thoughts, and kind of wish it was here. Again, I'll get to that in a little bit. But its display is great. It is thinner bezels than its predecessor, or at least that's how it feels. It has a large 6.6-inch Full HD Super AMOLED 120Hz panel, and day-to-day use has been phenomenal. So if you're watching YouTube videos, or if you're browsing Twitter or using Google Chrome, whatever it is, you're not going to have any issues with the display on here. And just the build of it, it also feels really nice to hold in the hand. It does feel fairly light. I like the individual camera cutouts too. Like when you look at this, it feels like you're using a premium mid-range device that's not really breaking the bank. But I'm going to bring it into the performance now, because that's where I personally wish Samsung did some changes, and that's with the chipset. So it's rocking the Exynos 1480 chipset, and here's what I have to say. I really wish they used like a Snapdragon processor or something stronger or more powerful than Exynos 1480. And while my day-to-day use has been okay, it just, coming from flagship device and testing those, it does take a tad bit longer. And Exynos chipsets aren't the greatest. So I kind of wish they went with an alternative. 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. There is a model with 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage as well. Well, 8 gigs of RAM is perfectly fine, has done all right. And 120 gigs of storage, for most people, it should be fine right now, but in the next couple of years, it's not going to be enough. This also does have micro SD card expansion, which is a plus. So again, if you just want to pick up the base model and just throw an SD card for extra storage, you do have that option. Now, Galaxy A55, for the most part, the day-to-day use has been good. Even with the 1480, you still notice some slight stutters and lags, but it's not a problem that should sway you away from using this device. And I don't think these devices, like the mid-range devices from Samsung, were intended for a heavy user or someone who's always consistently on their phone, like their work is from their phone, or just they're using their phone all the time. For me, I am a heavy user, and I'm consistently using my phone for the business, for my personal use. So it's, flagship devices last me much better. But for those who are looking for mid-range, and something I've noticed when I used to work in the mobile department at Best Buy, those who pick up a mid-range device, they're not in that category of consistently using their phone. Now, this does come with 4 years of software updates. It's currently running Android 14, One UI 6. And again, I've really come to love One UI. Samsung has done a really good job in cleaning up their user interface, and this is no different. So it's nice to see 4 years of software updates from Samsung for a mid-range device. Now let's talk about the cameras and how has it held up in the past 3+ months. It's all right. It's a Samsung camera, and the colors do pop out. They're good. It comes with a 50 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 5 megapixel macro. And I kind of wish they switched the macro, even if it was for an ultra wide that wasn't as sharp as its flagship devices. But again, they put a macro there, I just don't use it. But the fact that 50 megapixels, their past A series devices used to have 64, and this one has a 50. And I think megapixel count doesn't really matter. It's just pretty much post software that performs better and brings out better results than its predecessors. They're pretty good. It's just again, you wouldn't pick up a mid-range device for the camera, but since you're going to pick this up, you can rely on the cameras. They're good. They're just not like a wow me. They're not going to wow the user with the quality, but it's going to get the job done. And I think that's more important than wowing you or somebody else. Now, the battery is a huge plus about this phone. 5,000 milliamp hour battery, 25 watts of wired charging, doesn't have wireless charging, and the battery life has been great. And that's because, one, the Exynos 1480 is not as a power hungry chip as other competitors' chips are, so that's a plus. Lasts over a day, 7 hours of screen on time easily, and it's been lasting longer than other flagships I've used, like the Google Pixel 8 Pro, for example. And I know that's going to be replaced with the 9 Pro pretty soon, but it's been performing much better than that, and they have the same battery capacity, but this one performs better. But I kind of see why it performs better, but again, if you're in the battery department, you just want a phone that's going to last you for a long time, this is going to be that device. Now, the reason why I want to talk about pricing here is because since this is not available in the US, Samsung is selling the Galaxy A54 as well as the Galaxy A35. So its predecessor and the A35, which kind of replaces the A55 right here. So it's not officially available through Samsung. I picked it up at an international model through Amazon. I got mine for about $430, which I believe not only has improvements over the A54, but it's also a little bit cheaper because the A54 is priced at $450 from Samsung. Now the A35 is available for $400, which here in the US it essentially fills up the mid-range segment for Samsung in the US, but it's not the A55. And I feel like the A35 is just like the same thing, really close to the A54. So I still wouldn't even recommend picking up the A35 or the A54. Just get this, an international model that works on GSM carriers for $430. Now, the reason why I'm suspecting this type of thing of why this isn't being sold here is I think Samsung doesn't want the A55 to eat sales of the S23 FE or the rumored upcoming S24 FE, and I feel like the S24 FE is going to kind of fill in the slot of what the A55 was going to be in terms of like a similar design to the Galaxy S24, just albeit slightly cheaper quality, but like the upper high mid-range, like $500 to $600. I feel like that's where the S24 FE is going to sit at. So that's just my personal like speculation on why Samsung's not selling it here in the US. But again, like I would say go through Amazon and pick it up for the international GSM model for cheaper rather than picking up A54 for $450 or the A35 for $400. So if you're fine with having a GSM only model, again, like this is a device I would easily recommend as a Samsung mid-range device here in the US. If you're not going to be fine with GSM, obviously this probably won't be the device for you. I'd say hold on to waiting for the Galaxy S24 FE. Don't even pick up the S23 FE. But Samsung has made their mid-range devices really well. And I've used the A53, I've used the A54, and then the A55. And I gotta say, throughout the past 3 generations of A-series devices I've used, this one has lasted the best, the longest. So after more than 3 months of using this, it still feels really smooth, albeit it's still like slight stutters and lags, but overall it's been great. Whereas the A54, and oh my goodness, the A53 was like, I just could not use it. It was that bad, the A53. But this has been the best performing one, and that's to be expected. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, definitely be sure to smash the like button, comment down below, and best of all, share this video because it really does help out the channel a lot. I'll help push my content out to more people, and also definitely be sure to check out the links in the description down below. I've got my latest wallpaper pack. It's called Urban Glow, and I also do have links to devices like the A55. I have my Ultra Human Ring Air, which I will be making a video on, and you'll be seeing it on the channel soon. But I love this smart ring. I think it's better than the Aura Ring in my personal opinion, and better than other competition, because if you're going to require a subscription for data, to get access to your data, then I'm going to go with the Ultra Human Ring Air. And again, I'll be putting it out in my full review of the Ultra Human, but there have been some people saying, oh, it's not that accurate, but I think it's pretty darn good. And also I have the Galaxy Watch 6 Classic right here. That's probably going to be swapped with the rumored Galaxy Watch Ultra. So we'll see, but I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.